Hello, everyone. Welcome to our community. And we are excited to share brief practices with you. And I hope you can join us week by week as we impart these resources and these skills to strengthen our mindfulness practice. So, last week, Dr. Herrera introduced us to what mindfulness is and how it can give us the space where we can be aware of what's happening around us and how we can respond skillfully instead of reacting. So for today, it's basically bringing a certain quality in our mindfulness practice or in this container of awareness, what we can be aware of in our daily living. For instance, moment by moment, we can choose to be aware of our thinking, um, our emotions, or how we are feeling, and how we feel this in our body. Sometimes, even a general felt sense of the heaviness or I would call the uncomfortability when we are triggered, when we are anxious, when there is a difficult situation that presents itself, or even just being burnout and overwhelmed. So, one of the mindfulness based interventions that I teach is called mindful self compassion. This brief practice is from the research of Dr. Kristen Neff and also the expertise of Dr. Chris Germer. So before we dive into what we call a self-compassion break, something that is truly beneficial in my own practice is throwing compassion bombs when I'm triggered. So what do I mean by this? For instance, finding ourselves getting annoyed or getting frustrated or even irritated when we cannot do what we used to do, or even witnessing somebody in the grocery line with half of his mask down, or even the face shield being worn as a headband. Maybe, how about the experience of a security guard asking you to make sure your face shield is always down, but not really consistently asking others to do so. So these are just a few examples wherein we can get is easily triggered. There are many experiences that bring in difficulty or bring in challenge for us. So let me introduce you to the three components of when we talk about mindful self compassion. It's basically bringing, with the awareness that we have, being aware of, for instance, my heart is racing right now, or my thought is, oh, I want to react and say to this person, why don't you be more mindful? Why can't you just follow, for instance? And the specific situation is, um, I'm irritated. What do I do now? What type of skill or brief practice can I actually do to myself and others to hold my ground and plus, how I would say, bring us back to balance? So allow me to share the screen. So there are three components to bringing compassion in the practice of mindfulness. The first component is, of course, being aware that it is difficult for us. For instance, oh, I'm hurting right now, or I'm in pain, I'm irritated, I'm anxious, this sucks, whatever it may be, whatever this moment to moment experience is like for you. And then the next is seeing the larger picture, that we are not the only ones experiencing difficulty right now. So this is possibly throwing one of my favorites as compassion bombs. When I say compassion bombs, as the trigger presents itself or as the irritation presents itself, how about inviting the self to say, human just like me, making mistakes just like me, wanting to be loved just like me, wanting to be seen just like me, having goals and dreams just like me, wanting to be safe just like me. So these are examples of common humanity statements. And last but not the least, it's bringing the quality or perhaps even the value, other people would say the virtue of what is truly important for them, what they need. And it could be self kindness. Perhaps, may I be kind to myself? May I begin to be kind to myself because I'm having a really difficult time? So, we will now be exploring these three components in a brief practice where it will be divided into three parts. First is being mindful of what we are experiencing, as I invite you to remember a difficulty or a challenging situation. Next is to invite to see the experience in a larger picture, that we are not alone, that there are human beings, even though we don't know them, that are going through the same or even a similar situation that is tough. And last but not the least, the most important question when we bring in the practice of compassion and mindfulness is, what do we need? What do we truly need? And even if we don't know specifically what we need in that moment, can we even begin to just give that intention to ourselves, such as the beginning intention of kindness, compassion, or even saying to ourselves, how about putting my hand in my heart, because at this time all I want or all I need is to be held, and knowing that I can do that for myself. So I'd like to invite each of you now to find a posture that is relaxed, but at the same time awake. Whether you are choosing to do this lying down or seated, a quality that invites wakefulness. It could be with your eyes closed or a downward gaze, making tiny shifts with your body and your posture, an erect spine perhaps, leaning your back perhaps, some posture that makes you feel supported or even held. And before I formally begin, part of the mindfulness practice is honoring our own experience, even respecting how it goes for us. So know that if there's any part where you don't feel so comfortable, know that you could always go back to a certain anchor like your breath, or even just imagining putting your hand on your heart or doing this physically. Beginning now by taking a few deep breaths. If you like, even with your exhale, doing a gentle sigh, a sigh of release, a sigh of exhalation. As you slowly breathe in and slowly breathe out. And just finding your own natural breathing rhythm, just how you normally breathe, in and out. And we start now by thinking of a situation that was frustrating or maybe difficult. Could even be challenging somewhat. Perhaps having a difficulty scale or a triggering scale of about 3, 4, 5 out of 10. As we begin to bring kindness and compassion in our practice, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with something that is very difficult for us. Just mild to moderate, enough to feel it in our bodies when we think about it. Could be a health issue, relationship issue, a work issue, or maybe an issue in the home. Could be an exchange, mildly triggered in any way. Just recalling briefly, especially how you felt. And as you experience this uneasiness in your body, validating how difficult it was for you or how hard. Other options can include, this is tough, that was stressful, that was painful, ouch, that hurt, or that triggered me. And this is mindfulness, being aware that it was tough for you. And now, as you recall this difficult situation once again, seeing now the bigger picture of the experience. As I went through that, other people also have similar situations. As this difficulty unfolded for me, I am not alone. Others going through the same thing. Just like me, human just like me. Perhaps even coming up with your own common humanity, words or phrases. Breathing just like me. Needing love, perhaps just like me. Just listening to your own heart. And last but not the least, see if you can put a hand on your own heart, or maybe doing a gesture that feels supported for you. It could be an embrace, could even be in your own mind, just imagining that you're embracing yourself. So whether you're doing this physically or mentally, this gesture, see if you can imagine that this hand, this kind of support, is capable of giving warmth, tenderness, kindness, and compassion to the self. And asking yourself now, with this difficulty that I just brought to mind, what do I need? Could it be, may I be kind to myself? May I give and receive all the love that I need? Or may I begin to see my own worth? May I know that I belong? And listening once again to your own heart, giving yourself what you need, even if it's just the beginning intention. Could even be, may I accept myself just as I am? May I care for myself in this moment? And now bringing our awareness back to our breath, breathing in and breathing out. And opening your eyes when you're ready. Once again, welcoming yourselves back after the practice. So that was called self-compassion break, wherein we practice the three parts or the three components of self-compassion, namely mindfulness. It could even be just a few seconds per part or per component, validating how it was painful for us or how difficult it was for us. Then expanding the experience that we are not alone, that there is a human being just like us, just like me, who is experiencing what is difficult and what is challenging. And last but not the least, giving ourselves what we need in that moment. So this practice can be 10 minutes long, sometimes even 15 minutes long, can be 5 minutes short. It could even be 3 minutes, or it could be a few seconds, depending on what you need. And inviting you also to do informal practices such as compassion bombs, that the next time, just see how it is for you. The next time you are triggered, how is it to throw compassion bomb and common humanity bombs along the way, such as, okay, as I'm triggered now, human just like me, wanting to be safe just like me, wanting to be loved just like me, own having their own goals and dreams just like me, and just see where this takes you. Thank you, everyone. So, um, Dr. Jabi, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Tucci, for this beautiful practice. And, we invite everyone to, um, to Tucci's training program in mindful self compassion. This is an 8-week online course, it's very intensive. Um, and if you would like to inquire about the program, you can email us at clinic.wethrive@gmail.com. I hope you see the details here on the screen. Ms. Tucci will have a co-teacher. Um, I don't know, Tucci, if you wanted to say more about the program.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jabi. So,
Thanks.
there are two mindful self-compassion teachers who will be teaching and being with you the entire time. This a journey of the 8-week program, and I will be teaching it myself along with Miss Hannah Vedsted Hansen. And this program will be taught in English. So if there are any more queries or anything that you'd like to know about this program, please don't hesitate to text or to email at We Thrive. Once again, clinic.wethrive@gmail.com. And the number is 0917-631-4276. Thank you so much, Dr. Jabi.
Thank you, Tucci. See you again next Monday for Mindful Mondays here at We Thrive. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Jabs.